Welcome to The Artist Matters. I'm Alex Rudy, and each week you will meet incredible artists from all walks of life. Filmmakers, writers, actors, painters, musicians, and so many more, sharing their stories to motivate and inspire the creative in you. Whether you're doing it for fun or looking to make a living, this show will help you on your journey to bring out the artist within and letting the world know that your art matters. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Artist Matters. I'm your host, Alex Rudy. Today's guest is one of the many people I met during the Tampa Bay Theater Festival networking event, which was the beginning of Labor Day weekend, Friday night. And we had Hurricane Dorian possibly posing a threat to us. But they still went on with the festival. I didn't get to attend the festival itself because it is a little bit of a distance from me, but I said I must go to this networking event. I've got all these business cards. I want new people on the show, and lo and behold, one of them got back to me, and her name is Katie Welch. And at a very young age, Katie already has her own theater company. Can't believe it, but she does. It's called Broadway Everyday Star Theater, short for BEST. I guess that wasn't an accident. And what makes her theater stand out is that it's all-inclusive, meaning anybody who auditions gets a role. Somehow, some way, she puts them in the show. That's courageous. Hey, as a theater guy, people's auditions can be kind of scary and they're not right for anything, but she finds a way, she puts them in, and she has been doing theater since she was 9 years old. Some of her favorite shows that she was in was Beauty and the Beast, Annie, Secret Garden, It's a Wonderful Life, Through the Shop Window, Wizard of Oz, and Peter Pan. She also found she has a talent for writing, and she wrote her first play called A Talent for Murder, which was performed at her theater. Right now she's writing a play called Blind Date Cafe, loosely based on her parents when they met and began dating. But not only that, Katie has a master's degree in exceptional student education and teaches at the CuttingEdge Learning Academy here in Florida. And there's so much more, but let her tell her story. So without further ado, here is my conversation with Katie Welch. All right. Hi, Katie.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Was that a northern accent or something? I said, how you doing?
I don't know. It's like the Brooklynese rubs off for my wife there. I just can't resist. It sounds fun.
That's cool. I like that.
So you are on the show, and one of the many people I met at the Tampa Bay Theater Festival. It was fun.
Yeah. It was very fun. I liked it.
We'll get into that in a bit. Let's begin with your journey. Where were you born?
I was born in Brandon, Florida, and with an amazing family. I'm the oldest of three. My dad, he is the dentist Sefner of Florida. Mm-hmm. My family is definitely big, as you can tell. We support each other. My sister, she's the singer of the family. My brother, he is the sports person of the family. And I am the teacher, theater person of the family. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I love my family. I love the area that I was born in. And it's phenomenal.
Now, were you always creative?
Yes. Let's just say in the living room when I was 6 years old, dragging my little sister, she and I would perform in front of our families. And the very first show I ever saw was when my family took me to the Straz. We saw Annie.
Oh.
And that's how I started falling in love with Annie. And I fell in love with Annie. I was like, I want to be that girl. I want to be that little girl singing Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we performed, and my mom showed us the video of Julie Andrews doing Sound of Music.
Mm.
And it kind of clicked.
At this young age.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any other... So it was acting. Was there anything else that you were creative with at the time? Young?
Mostly it was just singing and acting when I was little.
Okay.
I think my creativity grew when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started writing my own plays and doing competition monologues that I wrote. And so yeah, and when I was 9, I got the first official play I was in was at my church when we did The Prodigal Son. And guess who got to play the prodigal son?
Oh, wow.
No one of the boys wanted to play the son, so they asked me. I was like, 9 years old. Okay, I'll do it.
Whoa.
So it was fun.
Now, so what made you decide, I want to audition for this? Was it something that was in you, or you just were nudged?
Well, actually, it was my parents' support. They, after seeing The Prodigal Son, they took me into community theater. I was with the Brandon Youth Theater, but the one that definitely got me hooked a little bit was Tyler and Amy Levitt. They are the founders of Tampa Bay Family Theater. Mm-hmm. And they were very supportive. They were like a second family to me. And Tyler, he writes his own plays. And I've been with them since I was 10, all the way until senior in high school. And they were my role models. So that's what clicked.
And playing a boy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What was that like?
Well, when you're 9 years old, you're you really don't care. But when thinking back at it, I thought that's a good experiment. A little bit. It was fun. It was fun, and especially when my mom recorded the video, and when I watched it last night actually, and I watched it. I was like, I cannot believe I did that. I was cracking up and seeing my 9-year-old self pretending to eat pig food in the story, and I guess when I was a kid, you go for it. You have fun, but when you get older, you're you reflect on it. I think I shouldn't have done that. I don't know.
And when you stepped out onto that stage for the first time, were you a little nervous, or were you like, wow, this is where I belong, or maybe a combination of both?
I think it was a combination of both. What I always say, if you don't have butterflies in your stomach, then you're not prepared. So when I stepped on the stage, I was a little nervous, but when the spotlight hits you, you're on. You go for it. And it just goes on, and you don't even have a care.
And then you did more plays throughout your school years. What were some of your favorites?
One of my favorites was when I was in high school. My freshman year, we did Secret Garden. And I got to play Martha. I had to speak in this interesting accent, a kind of Cockney a little bit.
Oh.
And so this was the first time I had to do an accent in my whole career, starting at a very young age and then going up. That was fun.
How did you prepare for that accent?
Lots and lots of practice. Watching videos. Actually, my friend, his name was Danny. He actually was from England.
Okay.
And he was helping me out. Every time I get something wrong, he says, do it over again. And keep on going. He would not let me continue on until I got that accent patted down.
In other roles that were fun?
Well, one of my favorite roles I ever did when I was little was this play called Through the Shop Window. And it's a play that Tyler wrote. Think of like Romeo and Juliet, but modern times. It was a bakery versus a pizza maker. And I got to play this character. Her name was Melissa, who was from London, but she always tries to help people out. But she misinterprets what they're saying. So, like, one person saying that her favorite actress is Paris Hilton, and I thought the two lovers were going to Paris and staying at the Hilton.
Oh.
So it was fun, very over the top, and like the first act you see the outside of the bakery, and the second act you see the inside of the bakery. So we had to do like twice, but flip it around, and it was challenging, but it was fun at the same time.
And any other roles?
One more role that I had so much fun was this play called Till Murder We Do Part. And this was the play that kind of inspired me to write my own play. It was a wedding disaster, and the bride gets murdered.
Oh.
And I played this character. Her name was Vivian. She is the wedding coordinator. She was the one who takes care of the wedding, like who gets to wear what dress, who, like the wedding planner kind of way. And guess who the murderer was? Yeah, that was me. I was the murderer. I killed the bride she was allergic to yellow dye number 15. And I put that in the cake. And the motive was because the bride was going crazy and she wanted rainbows in her wedding. After I read the script, I laughed so hard. I was like, that is the most ridiculous way to want to kill someone because they don't want rainbows in their wedding. But I had fun, and the actor who played the groom, at the very end, he was chasing me with a knife because I killed his bride.
Was that an original play by them?
Yes, it was an original play by Tyler. He writes so many plays, and that's what kind of inspired me to my own plays, too.
All right, well, jumping on to that, so now she says, what shall I do next? Writing now. What's the first thing you wrote here?
The first thing I ever wrote was in senior year in high school. I wrote a play called A Talent for Murder. And it was, like I said, it was inspired by what Tyler wrote. Mm-hmm. And it was, I was thinking of stereotypical high school. You got the dumb jock, the mean cheerleader, the geek and the bully. And every time I was in high school, we always had a talent show. So I thought, why not have a talent show in the show? So I started writing it, and in less than 2 months, I wrote the whole script. And yeah, for an 18-year-old, you thought, oh, this is so cool. So I submitted to my drama teacher, just saying, hey, can you look at this just to see if it's okay? Then a week later at drama club, I walked into the classroom and it says, spring play, A Talent for Murder by Katie Welch.
Whoa.
And I started freaking out. I was like, I looked at her, I was like, is this a joke? And she said, no, your play is going to be in the show. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so, yeah, I got to direct it. We had to change a few things that's the one thing good about when you're writing a script is that if there's stuff that needs to be changed, you can change it. Not when it's like, a professional script. You can't change anything. You have to stay by the book. So, yeah, and then after that, I started writing my own monologues, my own poems. I wrote another play that is going to be produced soon called a blind date cafe, a coffee play. So I started writing, and I could not stop. I even wrote stories and even a children's novel, and that's when I realized that I even showed it to my mom, and she said, Katie, writing is your passion. That's your gift. So, she knew that theater was my passion, but she said writing and directing is your God-given talent.
Now, did you